What's up, everybody? It's your boy Montoya Smith, aka Black Socrates, also the mental activist, and I'm the author of this book, Re-Education of the Negro, Necessary Conversations on Race, Sex, and Culture. And today is day 30. I've been trying to share a commentary every day. I missed 2 days out of the month, but just going to stay on path. Today is July 30th, and this is the 30th day, so this is day 30, if you will. This piece was prompted by a post I put on my IG page. I wasn't planning on sharing it because it's the end of the book. It's not a short commentary with discussion questions like all the other pieces. This is how I finalized the book with the Buying Black Manifesto, How to Become a Revolutionary Capitalist. And it's in reference to how we see ourselves when it comes to the spending black spending power and how we support one another. There's a lot of myths out there, and so I wanted to put together a manifesto on how to buy black properly, and this is what this is. We are typically overcritical of our black-owned businesses because in many instances, they are competing against companies that have been in business 50 to 100 years longer. Most of our black-owned businesses are one-person shops wearing every hat, including sales, marketing, accounting, customer service, etc. Not to mention, most black startups often lack the capital, or more importantly, access to capital as they attempt to compete within their industry. Number one, stop all black spending power myths. Excuse me. The first one, African Americans are not the biggest consumers in the country. According to the C-League Center for Economic Growth, blacks spent $1.3 trillion. This was stats from 2018. They haven't changed a lot, believe it or not. I wrote this back then, but the numbers are still pretty similar, even in 2024. So let me clarify that. But according to the C-League Center for Economic Growth, blacks spent $1.3 trillion, Hispanics $1.5 trillion, Asians $1.1 trillion, and whites $10.6 trillion in 2018. Now, all the numbers are higher in 2024, but the ratios are the same. So if you listen to this, Asians are the lowest, right? And we're the next. But again, you can go look up the more current numbers. Next point. If blacks left America, approximately $3 trillion in household wealth would leave America. However, that is only 2% of total household wealth in America. At the time was $105 trillion. I think that number is around 115 now, which highlights the need for reparations. Even if you disagree with reparations, staying on code would preclude not speaking out against them. And so I'm just explaining this piece. So I'm just highlighting that we overplay how much money we actually have. And so I bring the point to say, this was some years ago, but the numbers haven't changed much. That 3 trillion household wealth would leave if every African American left the country. It's not the impact that we think because we are so significantly behind when, as I said, the country has 115 trillion in household wealth now, 105 at that time when this was written. So just kind of giving context, we don't have as much money as we think, or as much money as we should, considering that there was a 246 free labor head start of not being able to accumulate wealth as a collective, and we're not going to recover simply through our hard work, if you will. All right, another myth. African Americans do not support one another in business. BS. It's complete BS. Think about this. What openly black company that represents themselves as a black company, the majority of their customers are black, period. If they're successful in business, the majority of their customers are black. And so we've bought into these anecdotal situations in which we make the mistake of thinking someone should support us because we're black. And that's not how it is. At the end of the day, you're still in business. You have to offer good service in a convenient manner to get their business. There are plenty of black businesses that are thriving, and to my openly black businesses. Now, if you're a business that sells to everyone and there's no competitive advantage for you to sell to just your own, if you're not promoted in that way, then of course this is a non-issue. But I live in Atlanta, and we have a lot of black businesses, and specifically on the West End, all the customers I go to, they're black. So how do these businesses couldn't be in business if we didn't support each other? So again, this is a myth that we have to kill. Number two, if you are a consumer though, I got another myth, another point. Stop asking for the hookup. According to business consultant Terry Simmons, the average markup in American businesses is only 38%. Therefore, consistent discounts to family and friends can severely hamper a startup black-owned business's sustainability, especially when the average black-owned business grosses $58,000 a year and takes 3 years on average to turn a profit, according to bizinfluent.com. So yeah, just keep in mind, just because your friend has a business doesn't necessarily mean that they're profiting or that they turned a profit in the first few years. So when they get a business, don't run in there asking for a hookup. I had to learn this from my friends when I first went on my entrepreneur path, and I had that hookup mentality, and I was offering my friends discounts, and they were the first ones to say, "No, bro, we know you jumped out the military, got out here on your own. We want to pay full price. That's the least we can do to support you, knowing that you done took a big risk that some of us haven't taken." So they taught me that, and I put that in this book. All right, number three, increase black-owned business spending to a minimum of 5 to 10% of your income. That is what I am encouraging, especially if you're in a place where it's easy to do. If you live somewhere where it's not convenient, that's why I say at least 5%. So here's some other points in addition to that. There are currently 2 million black-owned businesses, but only 5% employ others. A 10% increase in black spending would add more jobs within the black community. So if we consciously did spend more, because again, I'm not saying we don't support, but if we become conscious of seeking out and finding our own, that intention will lead to more profits. And in order for a business to scale, they have to take on more employees. So we can be more intentional, but kill the myth that we don't support. All right. I also recommended that you seek out black online marketplaces, like the ones that are equivalent to Amazon, such as ERGJ Black Bazaar or We Buy Black, to find not only unique black-owned brands, but to find and replace daily use items. Quite often, we don't think of toilet tissue or things of that nature, but if you go to We Buy Black, they got black-owned companies that's offering that. So think of, now that you got online, they can deliver right to your house just like Amazon. So keep in mind, find those online marketplaces that will replace, because what happens is, like for example, if I want a particular shirt, I can go to a certain African design. I can go to particular stores because I'm culturally looking for that difference. But quite often we don't think to replace everyday items, and they can easily be done at those type of sites. All right, another one. Understand black businesses often cannot compete on price alone. So black consumers' willingness to pay more for black-owned products or services is sometimes a necessity. I suggest that you please support if the price is within 25% of what you would usually pay. So instead of accusing a particular black-owned business of charging too much, it's no different than whatever that item is. If you went into a high-end store and it's not something you afford, you wouldn't say you charge too much, you just don't go there. So that black-owned business owner could be catering to a higher-end market, and so that product's just not for you. But in the event that a black-owned business who maybe not be in a conglomerate or whatever, not be able to get the same discounts that a larger company getting there offering something similar, then I would say be willing to go up to 25% of what you would normally pay. That's a way to be intentional and is reasonable. But if it's above that, you just simply don't do it. But don't say they're charging too much, because you don't know who their target market is. You may not be that target market. Now I say to owners, vice versa, black owners, please conduct market price analysis. Determine if the product or service will focus on the luxury, middle, or low cost market. Then attempt to be within 25% of those market prices. Trying to sell to all three markets without proper price analysis and or marketing will usually lead to unwarranted disappointment in black consumers. And so, yes, as a business owner, if you don't figure out which market you're going for, the low cost market, the middle market, or the high end luxury market, if you don't do that type of analysis of whatever service or product that you're offering, then you are going to offer a lot of disappointment to the marketplace of your own people, because you may be thinking, my people should support me because I'm black and I'm in business, but you didn't target which is a way you have to do business. And so just make sure you're understanding that from a business end. And if your product, if you're selling it to everybody, then expect a lot of disappointment, rightfully so. All right. Number 4, have realistic expectations. So do not enter black-owned businesses expecting a bad experience or feeling like you're doing them a favor. So like people kind of sometimes, some customers can go in both ways. But you may have had one bad experience with this one black business, not even in the same industry. And so now you have a blanket thought of how experiences go with black-owned businesses. You may have had, it's no different than having a bad experience at McDonald's, but going back because you had more good experiences. But you don't have that one bad experience and now expect every time you go to McDonald's to be a bad experience. So don't go into black-owned businesses expecting to have a bad experience. Or on the flip side, don't think you're doing them a favor by doing business. At the end of the day, they got to do business correct and offer products that you like and prefer, and hopefully they satisfy you. But get away from the assumptions. Again, it's a learning curve on both sides, from the consumers and the actual business owners. All right. Another thing, if you have a bad experience, attempt to provide feedback in a manner that helps the business owner improve. Black business owners are often caught wearing too many hats within the business, which we mentioned before, despite their best efforts. And your feedback might be what they need to improve. If feedback is not well received, discontinue business without grouping other negative black business experiences into one. So yeah, if you try to offer that feedback, you didn't get what you like, and that business owner is not receptive to your, constructive feedback, feedback as we say, then yeah, don't do business with them. As simple as that. But it's not an indictment on all black-owned businesses. Next one. This is very important for us as consumers. Fully respect the policies of black business owners in the same manner you respect other races or ethnic group policies. Many black business owners go out of their way to accommodate their black customers, only to find the accommodation added cost or time, only to earn very little to no profit. Yes, that happens a lot of times with black-owned business startups, because they know they have to compete on service and that type of thing, because maybe they don't have a training staff, or they, like the average white business owner typically starts with $200,000 for a startup business. And we know most of our businesses are bootstrapping it. And so when you got $200,000, you can pay for a training staff. You can pay for procedures and things to be kind of adopted from over here and put it over here. Again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just really helping you recognize that you may catch a business owner, in a sense, on a bad day. Or if they say, here's our policy, quite often, going back to the hookup mentality, we start pressing them out of expectation that they should do something different for us in a way that, just even in a Walmart, we might just accept the policy that's on the wall for what it is. And I'm just highlighting, make sure you don't walk in with the mindset that this, because you were doing them a favor, then they need to do you a favor. And a lot of times they are willing to go out of their way. But when they do, they usually don't make a profit, considering that they've used a lot of their own money to even start the business in comparison to other ethnic groups in general inside in the U.S. Last one, number 5. Respect hiding while black owned. Buy black, sell to everyone. So unless marketing that you are a black owned, let me read this clearly. Respect hiding while black owned. Buy black, sell to everyone. Unless marketing that you are black owned creates a competitive advantage, consider breaking into markets without revealing your race initially, or strategically diversifying your workforce and or ownership when profitable for long-term success. That's the last point. So We've done plenty of shows on the Mental Dialogue Talk Show, trying to scale our businesses and improve our businesses. But ultimately,